Hello loves, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Venus retrograde that's happening on July 23rd through September 4th. We got quite a lot to cover because it's going through the summer, and we're going to talk about Venus retrograding through the houses. There's definitely a lot of things that you can expect, so we're going to jump in and dive in. But before we get started, don't forget to sign up for the soul ceremony workshop that we're going to be having. This specific workshop is meant to be for your soul journey, so it's going to be highlighting your journey that you've had through your existence, your soul's existence. I'm really excited about it. We're going to be doing a deep soul meditation that's meant to show you how you have grown within your soul's experience. So not just like in this lifetime, it is going to be some past life work in there. We're going to be doing some chanting, some prayers. We're going to be doing tarot spread as well. We're going to be doing some channeling. It's going to be awesome. There's a workbook coming up for it as well. So definitely make sure you get your tickets down below. Also, you can there's still time to sign up for the Akashic Records 5-hour intensive and the 13 Octave Life Ho-Chi certification as well. With that being said, we're going to jump in and get started. Venus retrograde in Leo specifically. Okay, so first and foremost, Venus loves to be in Leo. Leo is a vibe for Venus energy due to the fact that Venus is the planet of love, pleasure, and money. Leo is the sign of pleasure. Fifth house energy is pleasure, fun, enjoyment, looking good, feeling good, ego, inner child, playfulness, joyfulness. It's a fun time when Venus is in Leo. However, the issue becomes when it goes retrograde, you can see a little bit of restrictions in certain areas, and you have to be a little bit more mindful and less careless during this period of time. Obviously, since it's going through September 4th, so it's going to be the whole entire month of August. There's still a lot of planets in retrograde, so you have to take that into account as well. And in August, Mercury is also going retrograde, so lots of stuff going on. Now when it comes to Venus retrograde, Venus retrograde is definitely going to be a reevaluation when it comes to your pleasure, your enjoyment, but also overconsumption. It's going to be a checkpoint for your ego. It's definitely also going to be a checkpoint for your self-care, your self-love routine, because when it comes to like self-love, self-care, your self-preservation, it's important for you to not neglect your own needs. And if there's something that you have been overdoing or underdoing, it's going to be highlighted in this time. So Venus retrogrades, especially when in Leo, because Venus already enjoys being in Leo, when it's retrograde, it's going to force you to look backwards. Because Leo is a fixed sign, and fixed signs are usually, when it comes to the fixed signs, Leo and Taurus are probably the most stubborn out of all of the four. They are definitely, they like what they like. They like being grounded. They like doing their thing. They like their aesthetic. They just like what they like. They don't really want to budge too much or fight too much. Like they know who they are. They're very comfortable in their skin. They like what they like. So when it's in retrograde, it has them reevaluating certain things, and needing to, the energy pushes you into a reevaluation of not only your needs but your ego, not only, you know, like what brings you and what gives you purpose, what feeds your own vitality, because Leo is also connected to your vitality with the sun. Yes, your inner child, your playfulness, how you have fun, how you enjoy things. If you have been, like, for example, throwing yourself at work, throwing yourself in, you know, doing something consistently, and you haven't been giving yourself time to play or have some fun or enjoyment or do something that you love, this is going to be a time where you're going to either get burnt out and realize that, oh, I need to spend some time just with myself. I need to do something for myself. I need something, right? You need something. So when you look at the houses and you look at the way Venus in retrograde is going to move through the houses for this particular retrograde, if you have Venus retrograding in your first house, okay? Hello. So first house, this is going to be a time where you might literally change your style. You might literally shift your style. You might like get a new wardrobe. You might like your first house is all about how you show up in the world. Because it's a Leo, it's also a great time for glamour, like any type of makeup, glamour, anything that you feel like you need to change externally. Like if you feel like you've just been needing a shift, if you're looking at your closet and you're not getting expired, or you don't feel like it's you anymore, you literally might go shopping and just treat yourself to something. If you're feeling like you need to feel more empowered, or if you're trying to empower yourself, or maybe you feel like your energy levels have been low, you can definitely focus on doing some glamour magic stuff. If it's sitting in your first house for attraction, for vitality, to give you strength. It's a great time to recall your power as well during this retrograde, because retrograde, again, you're looking backwards. So if it's sitting in your first house, like great time to recall your power and really channel all of that back to you, and empower yourself, so that way you can move forward and you're grounded. You are agreeing with how you're showing up with the world. If you're feeling like, you know what, I need to change, then you might externally visibly change, whether it's your style, your hair color, your closet, your car, your house. You might feel like you need to move or go somewhere. That the Venus retrograde might really highlight where you've been really comfortable in, but it's kind of like time for a change. Or like the stagnant energies is just like, it's not bringing you pleasure anymore, so it's time to do something different, show out different, show up differently, get grounded differently. So that's for my first house loves, okay? Now for my second house, second house Leos, hi. This is going to be a money financial reevaluation. You might have to curb the way you've been spending. You might also realize that you need to shift the way that you address your finances and navigate your finances. You might need to do a shift when it comes to money. You might feel like you want to dedicate your money or realize or acknowledge something that you really want, whether it's a big purchase or a big investment in something that you're like, you know what, I really need to do this. I want to do this and actually invest in it. This could be a time where you're actually a little bit more focused financially. For those who are in the habit of overspending, having a Leo in the second house, or just kind of like buying things in the moment to make you feel good or whatever, this is definitely the time where you're like, I gotta change some things. Some things do have to change. I have to shift some things due to me needing to, do things correctly. There's a need to do things properly. There's a need to, make sure that you are grounded financially. And it's like, if stuff's been getting in the way, if you like, this is a great time for you to like check things that you're subscribed to, things that like what is taking from your money, how you've been spending, reevaluate the things that you value, like whether it's your home, whether it's a business. It's a really important time for you to reevaluate certain things financially and have a clearer kind of perspective on how you're going to approach it moving forward. You definitely recommend doing some uncrossing work, doing some road openings as far as like removing blockages from the things that you value. You might also see, because Venus is the planet of love, pleasure, and money, because the second house is the house of Taurus, is not just about money, it's also about things that you value. That includes people. There might be some people that walk out of your life in this period of time. There might be some friendships, some relationships that you cut out of your life due to it being time, okay? So second house, third house. This might be a time where you're really reevaluating things that needed to be said, or things that you want to say. Maybe it's things that you've been kind of sitting on for a while, things that you need to communicate, things that it's like they needed to come out, they needed to be expressed, and it's time now. It's time to speak your truth. It's time to be open. It's time to share. It's time to it's time. That's the way it's coming out. It's like, it's time. So this is a really, really important time for you to not waste your energy, not waste your voice. especially if there's certain things that you've been sitting on mentally that you feel like you need to say, or even creatively things that you feel like you need to put to paper, or things that you, or ideas that you've been getting that you need to share. This is the time where you need to breathe life into it, and you need to recognize why you love doing what you do, especially if it's like a creative project that you're working on. Acknowledging and connecting to the fact that like you love doing what you do, and why it's even something that you want to create or have in a certain format or platform. Reconnect to that purpose, that fun, like the reason for why. That's gonna help you really get through the retrograde and, you know, putting out what you need to put out. But this is definitely a time where if there are certain things that have gone unsaid, that have been eating at you, it's gonna almost feel like a Mercury retrograde moment where it's like, I gotta tell you how I feel about this. I gotta be honest. I just gotta tell you. So keep that in mind. There definitely might be some declarations of love as well with the third house in Leo lives. If you've been kind of in your feelings, or if you haven't said how you felt about something, you might find yourself saying some things. Now, my fourth house, Leos, hi. So this is definitely going to be a needing comfort when it comes to family. You might do something during this period of time that is reminiscent of your childhood, or that just feeds or heals your inner child in some way. Maybe it's something that you might buy something or do something that literally is something that you've always wanted to do, or that's just it's something that when you were a kid, it made you feel really comforted, or something that you just really wanted. Especially when it comes to Leo, there's an intent, wanting things, again, that inner child. Like there's that wanting things. Like if there's something that you really wanted, you might invest in it during this period of time, or you might, even when it comes to, or if it's just, it doesn't have to be a material thing. It could also be when it comes to family and friends and love. It could be, you know, wanting to commit to, you know, wanting a child, or wanting to commit to, or needing to spend a little bit more time with your family because you need a little bit more comfort. It could be a couple of those different things. So definitely just make sure that you are nourishing yourself and that you are grounding yourself. Great time to work with the ancestors as well. So yes. Now, my fifth house, Leos, okay, hi. Fifth house Leos, definitely a really fun time because it's the house of pleasure. This is your house. It's the house to have fun. It's the house of casual relationships. It's the house to look good, feel good, vibe. So you really could just be having fun out here. This retrograde, it's definitely one that could force you to go back to your hobbies, or the things that you really enjoy doing. Like if you've been like really stressed out, or you haven't had time to like spend time with yourself or do stuff for yourself, you might literally pull a 360 and just focus on those things. Like you really might just say, you know what, I really need this, or I need to get back to this, or I need to pick up reading again, or I need to travel more, or I need to just do something. I need to do something. I don't know what it is, but I gotta do something, because I need to feel like myself. Like if you haven't felt like yourself in a while, this retrograde is definitely going to make you reconnect to life, where you're feeling a little bit more lively and purposeful. Okay. Sixth house. For my sixth house in Leo, this is a really great time to reevaluate and check in with you physically. I would go to the doctor, get checked up, make sure that, you know, all is good, all is well, all is, you know, grounded, stable, and healthy. This is the sixth house of healing, health, healing, serving others as well as disease. So you just want to make sure that you are paying attention to your health. You also want to pay attention to your addictions during this period of time. For my sixth house in Leos, the retrograde might highlight some issues, could be health issues or blockages that have arisen due to overconsumption of something. So like, let's say you've been consuming a lot of sugar, eating a lot of sweets, and now you're having like sugar issues, or you feel like, or even when it comes to like liquor and alcohol and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you are being mindful of how your body is being impacted health-wise by the things that you are feeding yourself with, out of wanting it, out of wanting to have fun, out of just feeling like you need what it is that you need. In another form, you can also be beautifying your house. You might rearrange your home. The sixth house is also the house of the mundane, so it's the house of your regular routine. You might switch up your routine in some sort of way. There might be, you know, like you might redecorate or do something different to make yourself feel more comfortable. Now, my seventh house in Leos, hello. There might be some karmic relationship stuff happening. There might also be some love relationship commitment stuff happening as well. You might realize that you want to end a partnership, or you might realize that you want to be in a longer committed relationship, or within your committed relationships, like you want to deepen it or feel close or feel the pleasure again. This is a really great time because Leo does it does connect to some sensual energy. It's a great time for sensual workings. I can't say it like bluntly because, you know, YouTube will come after me, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all grown, y'all know what I mean. Great time for that. Really great time for relationship healing as well. Great time for couples therapy. Great time to revisit, go over issues, how the ego has been blocking the relationship, what each person needs. Really getting grounded in the relationship again so that healing can occur. So it can be very healing for relationships as well, but there is a window where, you know, it can also lead to some endings as well. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. Now, eighth house, eighth house Leos. Hi. So this is definitely a really important time to not necessarily overspend any blessings that you receive. This is the house of inheritances after all. There's also the house of death and transformation and the joint financial abundance that you have with a partner. There's also the house of sex. So fun times. Dark. It's also it's very complex house. When it comes to this house, you might feel a heightened sensual energies. You might also feel like you need more attention, or you feel like you are attracted to certain things, or it could be even attraction outside of a partnership or a connection, or you might even meet someone during this period of time that is meant to transform your life, that you're very magnetized to. It can literally manifest in so many different ways, but this is a very transformative house, so make sure you're working through your sensual energy, that you're working through your sacral space, and make sure that you're also working with the ancestors to keep you not only grounded but balanced and like stable within your own ego. Anything that you need to release, try to release it, but there are changes that this house brings, so just be open to that. Now my ninth house peoples, okay, listen. If y'all are going to travel, I mean, this is a really I wouldn't recommend traveling past mid-August. So if you're going to travel during Venus retrograde, do so before mid-August. I said what I said. But ninth house in Leos, you might want to take some time off. You might want to spend some time in nature. There's also the house of education and philosophy, so you might want to like dedicate yourself to learning something new. You might start a program, start a training, start a certification, work with an elder, whatever it is. You might be feeling called to commit yourself, and how you're being drawn to educationally is shaping a big part of your life throughout this period of time. There might be a lesson that you learn throughout like philosophy or understanding that really changes your perspective during this time as well. So make sure you're giving yourself time to take in those lessons, okay? Okay, and then my 10th house in Leos. Hello. Okay, hi, how are you doing? So 10th house in Leos, this is a really powerful time to check in with your legacy. This like what you've done so far, what you want to do. Are you fulfilling your purpose? Do you love what you're doing when it comes to work, business, career, your life so far? Like, do you love what you're doing? Is there something that you're feeling stuck with? Reevaluate how you're grounded during this time. If there's something that you feel like, you know, you don't love or you don't want to keep doing anymore, you might find yourself leaving a job or leaving, or this is also a great time to get a promotion or work through getting a promotion, because retrogrades help to, you know, eliminate where you, especially in Leo, because it's a fixed sign. If you've been sitting very comfortable in your position and you're like, you know what, yeah, I just kind of go to work, you do this, blah, blah, blah. But an opportunity comes in for you to elevate and do something and shine brighter and put your skills and all this stuff. You might find yourself getting a promotion during this time. Retrogrades are not just gloom and boom, okay? It can literally manifest in different ways. Like maybe it's been due for you to like get that promotion, you know? It really depends on how you work with it. 11th house in Leos, this is a really great time to connect socially, especially this is such a very like celebrity-esque kind of 11th house in Leo energies, because Leo shines wherever it is, and because this is the house of Aquarius, which is the opposite of Leo, there is that energy of being kind of loud, bold, present, visible. So you can kind of use this because it's the house of technology, social media, society, friends, the collective. This is a great time to meet new friends. This is also a great time to, like, let's say you wanted to start a business and you have a vision for it and you're bringing it to the public. It could really like jumpstart, like if it's something you've been working on for a long time but then you put it off and you've been needing to, it's a great time to kind of do that. Connect with people. There's a great time for people to also find your page. You might find yourself going viral with old videos and stuff like that as well. So again, energy can manifest in different ways, but it's a great time for you to be visible. Even when it's in retrograde, it's a great time for you to be visible because it's almost like it comes off as you're established vision that helps and betters the public to some sort of extent. Now, 12th house in Leos, okay, you might be really focused on your dreams during this time. There might be something that you're creating, whether it's artistically or something that you want to bring to life, that really you're able to kind of break through, and the concept you can, you know, work on and see through. Spiritually, this is a really important time to do some ego healing and some ego work, and so that you can actively like better yourself and get yourself where you need to be. This is a very, ultimately, highly recommend working with the element of fire and working with like fire element throughout this period of time. Obviously, we're going to be through Leo season as well, so it is a very powerful time for you to work fire magic, elemental magic as well. So yeah. But when it comes to your dreams, there might be, if you haven't been working on your purpose, there might be haunting you in your dreams. You might be getting very specific messages. You might also feel like you are kind of stuck in something where it's like you need to let yourself blossom as well. So this retrograde might push you to break those barriers, break those kind of those blockages, so that you can actually do what you need to do. But ultimately, great time for creatives to really allow their work to shine. Spiritually, great time to do some ego healing and to get your energy levels. Great time to recall your power as well, like I said before, for the 12th house as well, because it's a house of reflection. Anything that you need to reflect or process, you might have a lot of breakthroughs during this time where it's like, oh my God, that's what I needed to process that, I needed to release that, whatever it is. You might have that as well. Anyway, I hope that you guys found this video helpful. Y'all have a real good time. I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. I love you guys. Have a very blessed day.